And this is Gus Summers, and you are listening to The In Show. And we have a great in-studio guest, Calvin B. Streets.
Hey, Gus.
Hey, Calvin, thanks for coming in. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Oh, not a problem. I'm eager to hear your music. You're a big blues guy.
Well, I'm going to play tunes from my new album today, and I'm excited about that.
Nice. And that'll be coming out when?
It's coming out later this summer. It's called I'm Just Saying.
I'm just saying.
It's got the tunes I'm going to play plus a whole bunch more.
Well, right on. You know what? Let's get right into it. I want to talk to you a little bit, but let's hear some stuff. What are we going to listen to right now?
All right. Well, I'm going to open up just the show with "Ain't Misbehavin'" by legendary Chicago bluesman Fats Waller. Nice. I was looking for tunes on the new album by legendary writers and all kinds of performers, and I picked one I'm going to play right now by Fats Waller and a Willie Dixon tune. But we're going to open up with this one. Right. Bring a little Broadway to California.
That's it. Let's do it.
No one to talk with all by myself. No one to walk with, I'm happy up on this shelf. Ain't misbehaving, gonna save all my life for you. This for certain, you're the one I love. I'm through with flirting, babe, it's you I'm thinking of. Ain't misbehaving, gonna save all my life for you. Like Jack Corner in a corner, what do I care? Going nowhere. Your kisses are worth waiting for. That's what I'm saying, honey. You know you better believe it. I don't go out late, ain't got nowhere to go. I'll be home by 8, just me and my radio. Ain't misbehaving, gonna save all my love for you. Talk with all by myself. No one to walk with, I'm happy up on the shelf. Misbehaving, gonna save all my love for you. This for certain, you're the one I love. I'm doing flirting, babe, it's you I'm thinking of. Ain't misbehaving, gonna save all my love for you. Like Jack Horner in a corner, what do I care? Going nowhere. Your kisses are worth waiting for. That's what I'm telling you, honey. You know you better believe me. I don't go out late, ain't got nowhere to go. I'll be home by 8, just me and my radio. Ain't misbehaving, gonna save all my love for you. Ain't misbehaving, saving my love for you. Ain't misbehaving, saving all my love for you.
That's what I'm talking about. Listen to that.
Thank you, guys.
Man.
That's a song by the legendary Fats Waller. I just did a little arrangement in my own little way, and that's on the album there.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. And you know, I love when a musician knows his instrument and can just bring it out.
Well, when you cover a tune, it's important to try to make it yours, so you don't miss any nuance, and you can add whatever little newness you want to.
That's it. Fantastic. When you were how old when you picked up the guitar or an instrument that you decided this is the road I'm ready to travel this
way? Those are two different questions. Deciding the road I want to travel was way after. Picking up a guitar that might have been sitting around my grandparents' house in the closet, and then getting a guitar for my 13th birthday.
13?
I didn't realize you could make any money at it until I was like 18 or 19. So there was a long disconnect there.
So you just you got that for your birthday? Was that something that you wanted? You asked, I want a guitar?
What happened was a few months before my 13th birthday, something called Woodstock happened. So everybody wanted a guitar.
Nice.
So it seems like everybody I knew ended up with a guitar that summer. and it was a lot of fun. It was great to have 8 guys with guitars, all out of tune, all in different tunings, playing in what was not unison. I wouldn't trade that for anything.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah, yeah.
That's great. So when you were 13, so what music influences did you have as you were growing up? I'm sure all the 60s music, any from the 50s, honky tonk?
Well, mostly the blues. Growing up around the house, my dad played a lot of salsa and,
Yes.
like moving, dancing music, and the blues. Those were the 2 primary. So the first blues album I ever heard was Mose Allison, and the first blues song I ever heard was Seventh Son. I remember that distinctly because I had never heard anything like that. And that was a Willie Dixon tune, which,
Yes.
by the way, that song is on my new album.
Nice.
Because I just, I had to, put it up there just to represent. It was really.
I gotcha.
That was a watershed moment, by the way.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was that it at that moment?
Pretty much, because up till then I never realized music sounded like that, or you could do that.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
So your father, he played guitar?
No, he just loved. He was a connoisseur of music.
Ah, nice.
He didn't play an instrument, but he appreciated it.
Gotcha.
And growing up around the house, we had every kind of music playing. Big band, salsa, blues, whatever, he had all those type of records. And a very extensive record collection.
Really?
Really like a wall full of records. It was really something.
Very eclectic too, right? I love it. All the different styles
It's
all on
true.
the same shelf.
From Mose Allison to Cal Jader, if you're hip,
Did you-
the Brooklyn salsa man, Cal Jader from back in the day.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. And you're from Brooklyn, you were saying?
Yeah,
Ed?
absolutely.
Wow, look at that. So do you still have any of those albums? You still in that collection
Maybe
make its
one
way?
or 2 as trophies. But iPods come out. I have all that stuff on iPods with months and years of music on there I'll never listen to. But in that bank of music is those albums, definitely.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Look at that. And I know I do want to mention that you have a wonderful guest here, your brother Bruce Richland. Bruce, thanks for being with us too.
Hey guys, thanks for having me backstage.
You bet. And you guys grew up with this music together.
Pretty much, yeah.
Look at that. Did you guys kind of play off each other? Because I know, Bruce, you said that you play a little guitar.
I play on the couch. That's
You play. That's great. So did you guys have to share the same guitar growing up?
Well, there was only one. I remember
He
that.
was out of the house.
Nice, nice. So you were 13,
Uh-huh.
and you got your first guitar. What was the first song that you really tried to play? Do you remember that?
You mean, well, first I tried to keep it in tune.
Yeah, sure.
And that wasn't successful for years later. I mean, anything that sounded okay. The first song, I don't know, like there was always a Bob Dylan song, it seemed like. I guess if I had to put it back to the very, very first song way back in the day, growing up at 585 East 21st Street and learning music, it had to be House of the Rising Sun. Because check out this scene, there'd be 8 of us with guitars. And I lived on the 5th floor. Some guys lived on the 6th, some guys lived on the 3rd. We'd all converge upstairs with our guitars in this cavernous hallway with 7 stories of, stairwells.
Right.
Picking on the guitars, trying to play, all these type of songs. So I would think that would be, I was thinking about that the other day. Somebody asked me that.
Yeah.
Probably House of the Rising Sun.
House of the Rising Sun.
Which ironically, I couldn't play a lick of it now. But I remember back in the day, really soulful, get dun 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 dun, like.
That's great.
Yeah,
that's great.
It really was.
That was funny. So through high school and such, did you play some of their the events? How they have little concerts. Did you go up there and do little talent shows?
I didn't do any talent shows. The truth of the matter is, till I got to be 18 or 19, I would make these little gigs and not show up because I was scared to death. Like I would have these little tiny set lists and just go, oh, okay, well at least I went to the door, and then
with my little set list.
and then it kind of dawned on me, well, you're gonna have to do that in front of people at some point,
Right. Yes.
So, but yeah,
That's great.
I can remember that vividly.
Wow.
Working on songs, going to the door, and then turning around.
Setting up a little gig.
Yeah.
Bruce, let's go home. So do you remember the first song that you felt, I captured it. I got the spirit of it. This is exactly how I heard it or how they played it, and you felt like it was, perfect. You remember that first
You mean
song?
a cover tune?
A cover tune,
Well,
yeah.
the first cover tune I ever did that I still play till today is Secret Agent Man.
Secret?
So, I mean, that would have to be the one I've played the cover tune you know, that actually made sense that I played the longest.
Right, right. And that one you felt, yes, after you did it, I got it.
And then after that, I started writing little ditties around 14, but it was nothing until I was 18 or 19 when I was writing for a band, playing in front of crowds of people,
yes,
that I realized about writing a tune and the parts and the different voicings you want,
right,
arranging it to that extent.
Nice. Blues? Was it the blues song?
Well, back in the day, 79, 80 was punk rock.
Nice.
And I was in the Sinatras. I was a lead guitarist.
Yes.
And I wrote some tunes for that band, and that was really the first time I got to write for a band on stage.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Did you got to perform everything on stage?
Yeah, the album just came out. Like, there's an album we didn't release that from 1979 that just came out this year on Rave Up Records.
Okay.
RaveUpRecords.com. It's an outfit out of Italy,
Yes.
and they only release punk rock on vinyl.
Really?
So we negotiated for a while. We said okay, and you know, there I am. You know, it's at 19 and 20, and those are the songs on that album that I wrote. Those were the first ones. Now that you bring it up,
Right.
to tie it in, those were the first 2 songs I wrote on an album. Like
Wow. How did that feel? Was it nostalgic? You all of a sudden, time portaled back to that moment?
Yeah, you know, you go through all that, but it was just a relief to get it out and move on. You know, it was something that was in a drawer, just hanging over, and I talked to the other guys over the years, and
Right.
you know, finally it was good to put it in its place, release it, let it do what it does, and
Right.
move on from there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a great story. That's a great story. Hey, Bruce, Calvin, thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. I know we're going to have a lot more of your music and more of your story. You guys got great stories together.
All right, Gus, thanks for having us. Yeah, I really
You bet.
appreciate it.
All right. Well, this is Gus Summers, and you've been listening to The In Show, and we have in-studio guest Calvin B. Streets and his good brother Bruce in the studio. So we're going to have more of them after we get back. Quick commercial break, so you hang in there. All right. And this is The In Show, and I'm your host, Gus Summers, and we have in-studio guest Calvin B. Streets. There he is.
Hey, Doug. How you doing?
What's going on?
All right. Hey, before we start, I want to say thanks to Doug Deutsch for getting me to be here today. He's a great publicist, and I'm really glad I hooked up with Doug. Thank you very much, Doug.
Absolutely, yeah. He's a good friend of the In Shows. So let's, we're talking about you growing up. You got your first guitar that you had to share with your brother Bruce when you were 13. You would walk up to your stage door and then would turn around. I love
when
it.
you say it like that,
we all
it's all
have
true.
we all have that wonderful, the early years. We all have those wonderful stage frights. So then you overcame it, and now we got the man that we have today. But so at 19, you got into a band, right?
Uh-huh.
And you just recently released an album.
Yeah, at 19, we formed a band called the Sinatras, me and a bunch of friends of mine back in Brooklyn. And we had a hit called Teddy Crash's Blonde Eyes back in the day. And as a matter of fact, the reason we're even talking about that is because the album just came out.
Yes.
There was an album that was recorded in 1979 live at Max's Kansas City and in the studio. And it had been sitting around for a while, and finally we were offered what was enough to release it on this particular label, on a limited release. Rave Up Records in Italy released it. And it's the album that didn't come out then, but I'm glad it's out now. Just kind of puts a bow on it, a nice little bow.
That's awesome. And we can get it where? From iTunes, or where's
Well,
that?
I'm not sure if it's on iTunes yet, but if you do go to RaveUpRecords.com, and then you scroll down a little, you'll see it's the Sinatras.
Nice.
And be careful, because there's other bands now calling themselves the Sinatras.
Yes.
And they simply aren't.
Right.
So
I gotcha.
just make sure you get us, because back in the day, we were the first ones to use it. Frank himself tried to sue us because of that.
I was going to ask. Yeah.
So, just remember, when you go to Rave Up Records and you look at the Sinatras, that's the original Sinatras.
Nice, nice. Now I know you were going to be playing a little something, but I did have a question for you.
Sure.
And I know you have to know who this is. Doc Watson.
Oh, yeah, the legendary Doc Watson.
That's it.
He's got some tunes other people don't try to do. This is not one of them, though. A very good friend of mine, Eddie Pennington, who is in the Thumb Picking Hall of Fame. I took lessons from him, because you got to get that thumb going as a blues man.
Yes.
He showed me this tune. I arranged it, put it on my new album. I'd love to play it for you.
Oh, please.
I was inspired, because if you go to YouTube, you can see Doc doing this tune once, I guess it was the late 50s or early 60s, and then in 2005. So you could see how it changed over that 50-year period and what he does or doesn't do.
Is that
And
right?
It's an amazing tune.
Right on.
They're called Deep River Blues, and it goes something like this. Let it rain, let it pour. Let it rain and a whole lot more when I get down Deep River Blues. Let that river rise and fall. Let them big waves make a wall when I get down Deep River Blues. My old gal, she's a sweet old gal. Walk just like a waterfowl when I get down Deep River Blues. Oh, bless her heart, ain't nobody gonna cry for me. All the fishes are on a spree when I get down Deep River Blues. Play some blues, boy. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna take her, fellas, you know I'll make her float when I get down Deep River Blues. Going down Muscle Shoals, times are better there, you know, that's what I'm told when I get down Deep River Blues.
I hear Doc applauding.
Doc Watson right there. I'd be flattered if you even heard that. But that's for the legendary Doc Watson, inspiration to everybody who plays the guitar.
That was fantastic. I was watching that finger picking. That
Thank
is,
you, Doug.
You're welcome. I mean, that's fantastic.
I mean, thank you, Doug. I'm, you know,
yes, I got you. Yeah, I got you. I got you. So, how long did it take you to learn to play that, where you felt, you know, I've done it justice?
Deep River Blues?
Yes.
It took a month.
Took a month?
Every day. I got it in my mind. I was picking out tunes for the new album,
yes,
and I wanted it to be something special, not just your everyday blues album.
Right.
And it is a acoustic roots blues album. And I was thinking to myself, what's a tune that not a lot of people put on their records? And that's one of them.
Yes.
So I immediately called and warned Eddie, I'm putting it on there. And I was really excited to get it done, and I emailed it over in MP3, and it was really
nice.
I'm excited about it, yeah.
So how did it feel when you first did it? You go, when
I first did it, it was a train wreck. I wouldn't want you in the room. You know, the first thing I did, I want to do it. Then I went on YouTube, and so I was immediately discouraged. And then I came back a day later and said, all right, well, I like Punishment anyway. So I watched him doing it from the 50s or whatever that video. It's legendary. I don't know what year it was. Maybe
right.
58 to 63 or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, that was something. Whew.
Nice.
And then there were, of course, when you go on YouTube, there's hundreds of other people playing it and doing it.
Yes.
And then I got on a stream of other people doing it, and then Eddie showed it to me that summer.
Yes.
So that was, you know, that was pretty important to get me in that direction.
Right, right. So did he kind of guide you, or just kind of say? You know,
what he did, I saw him play it on stage.
Okay.
So then I said, you know, Eddie, I got to learn that, and he said he was going to show it in the class. I was up at Centrum in Port Townsend, where it's the Heritage Blues Festival week. Yes. Where you hang out for a week and just take lessons and hang out with legendary blues guys you wouldn't believe. Wow. And then, you know, so while I was in the class, I said, you know, can you show us that? So one day he showed us, you know, some of the chords and the licks. Yes. And I took it home for a while just to digest it. And he was really nice about it. He said, I'm going to show you a $2 chord, and I ain't going to check your credit. Nice. And I said, that's good, because you wouldn't be showing me that chord if you were. So he was very, you know, very generous with his time and patience, let me tell you.
Wow, wow.
Eddie Pennington. Eddie Pennington.
Eddie Pennington.
Yes.
And you, So it took you a month to feel, well, okay, now it's ready to show and record.
Yeah.
And
It took me a month to get it to say it's ready to bring it out of the house. It wasn't ready yet. It was just ready to bring it out of the house, because you never know till you play it in front of people. I mean,
Right.
you know. So I would say it was a month to get it out of the house, and I was pretty confident at that point.
and people you're referring to your brother Bruce.
Well, and also on stage, like the best place, you bust it out on stage and see what people say. So
And of course they stood up and went, "That's fantastic.
Oh,
We
you're
know Eddie
flattering
and
me.
Doc right there." That's beautiful. That's awesome. So now that it's on the album and the CD and you hear it, you're thinking, perfect, or I would have tweaked it a little here, a little there. Is that how it always is?
No, I like it. I really do. I mean, you know, it's dangerous to be satisfied, but when you're playing live music, there's no overdubbing. So what you
Right.
just heard me do here is what I did in the studio, and because when people come to see it live, they want to see that,
Right. They want to. You want
yeah,
to
they
get
wanna
what they
watch
heard.
that,
Yeah.
you know.
Right.
and that's fine. You know, it's a great effort. Some really fabulous people helped. Doug Messenger, legendary bluesman who played with Freddie King. He was on Van Morrison Records. I recorded it at his studio in North Hollywood,
Nice.
called Hard Drive Studios. The bass player, Jeff Termes, is playing with Mavis Staples right now. He's stand-up bass.
Yes.
Jordan Clover, my piano guy from my first album and second album.
Wow.
So, yeah, I'm pretty satisfied. Because we did this like we were in a club. We put the microphones down and we busted out.
Nice.
So it's not like 12 takes later, we're, you know,
Nice.
this is it.
Yes, it was
So,
live.
I'm
That's
really-
what we
yeah,
got.
it was.
Look
The
at-
only overdub on the whole album was when I played harmonica afterwards on some embellishments.
Okay. Just to
Otherwise,
give-
everything was as it happened right there.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's great.
And we did it on a 2-inch tape. You know, we did it analog.
Yeah, you're seeing our 2 inch back there. You're seeing that back there. That's fantastic. I can't wait. You know, did you have that live feeling?
It does. And
That's
Doug
beautiful.
captured it. He's really good. He's really good.
That's fantastic. You know, and Calvin, again, you know, thanks for coming in. You know, appreciate it. You know, love sharing. Love hearing your music and hearing your stories and
Thanks a lot,
everything.
Gus. I appreciate asking the questions. You have some very pointed questions.
Oh, thank you very much. And Bruce, of course, for the great support. All right. Hey, well, this is Gus Summers, and you've been listening to The In Show. And we have in-studio guest, Calvin B. Streets. And we're going to have a lot more of his story and his music in our next segment. So you hang in there, because we're going to be right back.